Here is what perfectionism really costs you: time, opportunities, and peace of mind. It creeps in quietly. One delay, one not here, one more round of editing, until suddenly life feels like it's passing you by, even though you are trying your best. For me, perfectionism didn't look like high standards. It looked more like hesitation, like holding back because I didn't quite feel ready enough. But what if you could catch this pattern before it really traps you? That's what started shifting when I began journaling my dreams. After years of navigating major life changes, I have learned this. Your inner world always leaves clues. And dream journaling became my shortcut to spotting these hidden patterns that were quietly shaping my life decisions, like perfectionism. In this video, I'll show you how it works. You'll learn how dreams can help reveal any life traps you might be stuck in. And I'll also share a few practical ways to loosen that perfectionism. Let me take you back there. So in my dream, I was standing at a bus stop, just waiting. I knew exactly which bus I needed, the one that would take me straight home. So I waited. Other buses came and went. People around me got on and moved forward. The sky was getting darker and the stop got more crowded. And finally, it showed up. The bus pulled in, the doors opened right in front of me, and I got on, I found my seat. I had this huge sense of relief at that time. Oh, finally, I'm going home. But then the driver turned around and said, we are changing the route. And I just sat there like, what? Are you kidding me? You can't do that. And in that moment, I realized I could have taken literally any of the earlier buses. It might have made a few transfers, but I haven't been home by now. When I woke up, frustration of that dream really stuck with me because it wasn't just really weird dream. It was me creating the perfect plan, waiting for the perfect timing, the perfect me to finally show up and get me where I wanted to go. But the truth is that version never shows up. The dream showed something painfully clear. I was spending so much time trying to get it right, but I wasn't really getting anywhere. And perfectionism is sneaky tricky like that. It doesn't come out and say, hey, I'm going to mess with your life now. It always shows up like a well-meaning friend saying, well, details are very important. It tells you that a little more research, a little more tweaking will make all the difference. But after a while, being prepared becomes really being paralyzed. And the hardest part, you don't even notice how many opportunities you were letting pass you by and how much time you have lost. How often do we wait on starting a project, making a decision, having a conversation, because we're waiting for it to just feel right. You tell yourself you'll apply to a job once your resume is perfect. But then time passes, the job goes to someone else, maybe even less qualified. Or have the conversation once you find the exact right word and the relationship drifted further apart. Perfectionism doesn't just cost us chances. It costs us time we don't get back. So how do we actually catch ourselves in this pattern? Here is where it gets very interesting. Dreams don't tell you what to do. They don't give you bullet points, but they show you what's going on under the surface. That buzz dream gave me answers I didn't even know I was looking for. Once I started journaling my dreams, I began noticing repeating themes, patterns, ones that had the same frustrating feelings underneath. Running through airports, missing my flight, getting assigned a project that kept piling up no matter how much I finished. And one dream I couldn't speak because I felt totally unprepared. And I realized this is how I really feel in my life. Like I'm constantly trying to catch up, not ready or falling behind. But it was in my dream world that this feeling became so sharp, so clear that I couldn't just ignore it anymore. You don't need to be a dream expert to start using this. Just try this. Keep a notebook by your bed. When you wake up, write down whatever you remember from a dream, even if it's weird, even if it's just feeling. And then ask yourself, where in my waking life do I feel that same emotion? That is gold. Dreams are not just random stories. They're signals, warnings, or better say, invitations to look within. And they don't just reveal perfectionism. They show you any life trap you've been stuck in. And that's why I keep journaling them. Once I realized my perfectionism pattern, I started experimenting with different techniques, like what creatives call the 80% rule. Have you heard about it? If something is 80% ready, it is ready enough. And that last 20%, that's usually the part that keeps us stuck. The tweaking, the polishing, the endless, just one more thing. I tested this with a very small creative project. I launched it with a very basic outline, just very simple web page. And to my surprise, people connected with it. That feedback, just a couple of questions I got from them, helped me shape my next steps. It grew because I just started. And it didn't have to be perfect. It just had to exist. Action, even in baby steps, teaches you more than any planning ever will. And if this is clicking with you so far, hit that subscribe. So I'll share more honest tools like this to help us get out of our own way. One trick that's also helped me is setting my own gentle deadlines. You could pick a date, write it on your calendar, and commit to putting something out there by then. Again, it does not have to be perfect. Remember that 80% rule? These self-made deadlines keep me from getting lost in endless changes and just force me to take action. It really is about building trust with yourself. Another tool I use to bypass perfectionism is time-blocked creativity. Giving yourself a set window, like 30 minutes or 1 hour, to do something without editing or judging it. Just time to being in a creative flow. I love it because it feels very freeing and it creates momentum. Another trick is gold stars. I started giving myself gold stars in my digital planner, not for the end results, but for the effort, just for showing up. I would tell myself, you didn't wait this time, you showed up, here is your star. Because to be honest, it's the bravest thing to take one small step while your brain is being on fire and screaming that, well, stop, you're not ready. I think that deserves celebrating. When you start applying these practices, you will see every time you choose action, you learn something new, and not just about your project, but about yourself, about what you're afraid of and what you're actually capable of. Dream journaling has become one of those anchor practices that brings me back to myself, including moments when I feel stuck in overthinking or self-doubt. It's really about just showing up for that quiet conversation with yourself. And if you're curious whether either perfectionism or other life traps might be hiding in your life, I created a guided dream journaling practice that walks you through Same process I use. How to capture your dream, reflect on it, and connect it with what is happening in your waking life. It is super simple, very structured, to help you listen to the part of that already knows what needs to be changed. And once you start seeing patterns, you can't just unsee them, right? And that's when things begin to shift. I'll link it below if you're curious. So yeah, that buzz dream, it taught me more than any self-help book ever did. It reminded me that waiting for perfect usually costs more. That the next bus may not be perfect, but it might be exactly what you need to get started. And that's how I made this video too. I just had something I wanted to share and I showed up for it. So what is your version of that bus? What are you waiting on until it's just right? Maybe today is the day you try the 80% rule and give yourself a gold star. And if this spoke to you, hit subscribe. I share tools and real life ways to break free from inner life traps so we can create and live from a place of truth and not our fear. Bye now.